don't have to be a race expert to know that running a sub-4 mile is a pretty amazing feat. Since leaving his home near Bristol, England, Rich Peters has been on a fast track in New England, breaking records and setting the pace for excellence at Boston University. Describe the feeling when you're crossing the finish line. What's that like?
Depends where I'm coming in. You know, if I'm coming in where I don't want to, it's kind of tough, but often the last 100 meters, if you've gone in a fast race, is challenging. And 10 meters after the line, you love the fact that you finished and you feel great. But like I said, it depends where you finish for sure. Sometimes it's the best feeling in the world, and other times you might feel like you let yourself down a little bit. But no, I mean, nothing really compares, and I think that's why everyone does the sport they choose, you know?
Placing 9th at the NCAA Northeast Regional last cross-country season qualified Peters for the NCAA Championships. He earned all-region honors and was the only America East runner to finish in the top 20 at the New England Championships.
It's one of those things that people ask me whether I do it because I love it or because I'm good at it, and I think in a way being good at it has made me love it. I think over time I've enjoyed it more and more, and now I get up every day and think about it. So it's definitely a big part of my life and a part that I love. It's one of those sports where if you put the work in, you definitely see the results. I get out exactly what I put into it, and it's very humbling to do that as well. I see other people around me that are working very hard to do what they do, and I think that's the biggest part for me, is that I work so hard for something, and if I get success, it just feels very rewarding.
We have a long history of success in track and field, and particularly on the indoor side. And about 10 years ago, we were able to build that indoor track and field and tennis center. And one of the athletes that we were able to recruit here to BU was Rich Peters.
I come from a suburb outside of Bristol, actually. I come from a country kind of village, and there isn't that much there in terms of facilities, so it's a long way from here. You know, everything's around you, and the gym and the track. We have one of the best tracks in the country, I'm sure, one of the fastest tracks, and that's just, it's great to have.
Another international student athlete, and someone that we probably would not have been able to get in the living room with if it wasn't for the facility that we had. And for a long time, we were way behind in terms of attracting those caliber athletes to Boston University.
I hadn't ever stepped foot in America before I came here, and I got a few offers from other places around the country about where to go, and I don't know, I just decided Boston was the place to be, and I came here, and it's great, and I love it.
And we have this young man who's here breaking records and coming within seconds of winning a national championship, and that is just so gratifying for us as administrators, as coaches, to be able to know that the university stood behind us and stepped up and helped us to build a world-class facility which holds one of the fastest tracks in the Northeast.
I mean, I have the school record in the mile here in the 15, but I think the mile is kind of a magic distance. It's like the 100 meters when you break 10 in that. People know what that means even if they're not involved in the sport, and people are going to appreciate a sub-4 mile even if they're not in the sport.
Unattached, Peters ran the mile in 3 minutes and 56.05 seconds. At BU, he holds the record with a time of 3 minutes and 57.83 seconds.
Just the fact that people come and see me up on the board, I mean, it means a lot to me, and it means that I've succeeded for the college too.
Last winter, Peters joined Olympic silver medalist Galen Rupp on the BU track at the Indoor Terrier Classic for Rupp's attempt to break the indoor American mile record.
Having everyone there watching and roaring for me as a Boston University athlete too, nothing really compares to that.
Rupp's time of 3 minutes and 50.92 seconds made him the second fastest American indoor miler of all time and the 5th fastest in the world.
Just seeing that, again, motivated me like it does when I go to a national scale, but even more so because he does everything that he can do to be the best athlete he can. Boston has such a heritage of running here, and just to be able to come from somewhere else and be in this environment where there's world-class athletes, really, it just keeps you going too, it motivates you. And I think the taste that I had of that in the first 2 years of college really inspired me to work harder. Because everyone's working hard individually, and yet you have that team score to achieve. Especially in cross country, everyone's relying on everyone else. And there is a sense of pride in the team too. You want to help everyone out. When you're in a race and struggling and you're in pain and want to just drop out or whatever some people might feel, you have that kind of energy from everyone else around you to just keep going, and you get a great feeling when you work hard for something to succeed, and running is definitely one of those ones where you feel that purely too. I don't know what that hormone's called, but you get a lot of it, endorphins or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a science major, for the record.
Rich looks forward to competing in the Patriot League this season and has high hopes for his team as a whole. His ultimate goal is to run professionally once he completes his studies in Boston. For the Patriot League Network, I'm Melanie Plowski.